Have you ever been prescribed antibiotics? Let me guess, you didn't finish them, did you? Today we'll discuss antibiotics and their usefulness and the large issue that's growing within them. Antibiotics are commonly seen as the bad guy, but maybe it's the way that we're using them that's causing all of the issues. Antibiotics are no joke, and here's the three main questions. What are antibiotics? What do they do? And what is antibiotic resistance? The first antibiotic discovered was penicillin. It was discovered by a mold growing on a piece of bread. Why they tried it, I don't know, but they did, and I'm glad they did, because now we have penicillin, which is one of the main antibiotics used today. According to the International Journal of Molecular Science, antibiotics are used to fight pathogens. Pathogens are germs, or bugs, or microbes, whatever you want to call them, and they cause infections. Antibiotics are also the reason that the mortality rate in hospitals and the medical field have been lowered over the past 100 years. According to the International Journal of Molecular Science, antibiotics have lowered the mortality rate by treating infections from surgeries or infections that may have led to future surgeries that would have then led to death. How do antibiotics work? They work essentially by plugging the tunnels within the pathogen. A college study produced by Obesity, Fitness, and Wellness Week says that antibiotics work by stopping the pathogen from being able to synthesize proteins, and by doing that, essentially the pathogen can no longer reproduce. Once they can no longer reproduce, they're done for. They cannot live within the infection any longer, and that is how an antibiotic cures the infection. According to Dr. Onofre, a ocular specialist within the University of Houston, pathogens that antibiotics fight are two types: opportunistic pathogens and true pathogens. Opportunistic pathogens are pathogens that are within your natural body's flora, whether it is your eye flora, your gut flora, your mouth flora, any of those that naturally have bacteria within them. You can still get an infection from an overproduction of a certain bacteria. Antibiotics help fix that by killing off almost all of the bacteria, which can also cause other issues, but it essentially fights the infection. Then you have true pathogens that can cause things like pink eye because it is the contamination of your body or your natural flora. A true pathogen is a pathogen that is not naturally within you or on you, and that is where you get an infection, whether it contaminates a wound, contaminates your eye, contaminates anything on you that is not supposed to be on. And antibiotics will help fight an infection caused by that. According to Dr. Onofre, in ocular cases, for low-risk cases of infection, they'll use a topical antibiotic, whether that's an ointment or eye drops. They'll use a topical. That way they aren't overusing more hardcore antibiotics. In higher risk cases of infection, they'll use a systemic antibiotic, which is either oral or injection, and that's one that'll go into your bloodstream and go all over your body because the infection is more than likely all over your body instead of contained to just one area. And thirdly, what is antibiotic resistance? According to Dr. Onofre, the main root of antibiotics resistance is the overuse of antibiotics. Whether you've got a cold, a little foot sore, anything, if you go to the doctor, they'll more than likely prescribe you 2 weeks of antibiotics, whether you need them or not. According to Andrew F. Reed and Robert J. Woods, science professors at Oxford University, antibiotic resistance is also caused by bacteria evolution and natural selection. So remember those 2 weeks of antibiotics you were prescribed and you didn't finish them? When you got to your first 7 days and you thought, wow, I feel great, I'm not gonna finish those. Well, not all the bacteria has been killed. So now the bacteria that is still there is resistant to that antibiotic. And so those are the bacteria that have now been left to reproduce, to procreate, and to continue on and to spread to other people and other sites. And that is how we get antibiotic resistance, because they are resistant to that drug thanks to not finishing your antibiotics. Also, according to Andrew Reed and Robert J. Wood, the only solution is to use less antibiotics. Whenever you have a little foot sore, maybe you don't need as long of antibiotics or as hardcore of antibiotics. Antibiotics play such a large role in modern medicine. They prevent current infections, and they also fix future infections. But if the growing resistance does not stop, antibiotics will no longer be an option. Do you want to live in a world without antibiotics? Because I can promise you, I don't.